Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome to the next installment of the Draft Box for spoilers. This time we're going over the black cards and the dual colors. Now keep in mind, I believe there are 10 more cards that they have to spoil. I think those are going to be the campaign rares, and having 10 of them is kind of a lot, but I guess we'll talk about that when we get there. So just to preface this video, I want to talk about the fact that I think that Bandai is being very careful with the dual color card design. And me personally, I am very, very appreciative of this. I mean, just coming from things like Mecha format, SS3 format, Super Shenron format, I think this is something that we can all kind of band together and appreciate on Bandai's part. You know, a lot of people sometimes think the cards are too underwhelming, but you know, if the cards were overpowered or too broken, I think we'd have a lot more issues than good things if they were too overpowered. But before we get into this video, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the awesome Dragon Ball Super content that I post here. If you're looking for a Dragon Ball Super community to get in touch with, check out the Discord in the description below. Excellent group of people. If you're looking for competitive content and want to help the channel out, check out the Patreon in the description below. And finally, guys, if you want to help support the channel or buy the draft box or pre-order the draft box, make sure to use my TCG player link in the description below. Really helps out a lot. With that being said, we'll get right into this. So, Son Goku Striking True. Choose 2 skillless battle cards in your drop area, send them to your warp. When you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So, a few things here. I really like how we're getting additional usage out of cards in the drop area, like not just completely overwhelming them or not just like pitching cards from hand to activate effects. This is kind of a neat way to pay costs, but this whole like 10k battle card thing they're doing for like skillless effects, I'm just not really feeling it. I mean, this one doesn't particularly deal with like skillless battle cards that are 10k or less, does it just skillless in general. But this card is like not the strongest in constructed play, pretty decent in sealed though. A 210k is kind of small, but having that choice removal that you can pay any 2 colors to get is pretty good. But we'll see more of that 10k stuff as we go on, I believe. Then we have Trunks Dimension Sniper. This card's pretty good. So this is an Overwhelm 3 for free, no energy commitment. When you play this card using Overwhelm, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less and send to the owner's warp. So if there is a prominent 3-drop or less that is a problem in the format, this card is just an easy sideboard tech, even an easy mainboard tech. It's just a 1-for-1 trade and deals with any 3-drop or less for free. So that's pretty solid. Doesn't require the 1 energy investment like D-Banish or Fu, but doesn't have the benefit of double strike, doesn't have the benefit of dealing with anything no matter what cost it is. Dende, Cry of the Soul. So when you play this card, choose 1. It's a 1-drop black card. Note that you cannot grab this off Toki Toki because it's got 4k power, not 3k. So when you play this card, you can either draw 1, or you can choose one of your skillless battle cards with a cost of 1, and it gets plus 10k power for duration of the turn. So again, in constructed, like, they gave this thing the benefit of drawing 1, so I guess in like some Namekian based deck it could be decent. It's also a god, which helps out, but the one choosing a 1-drop skillless, giving it 10,000 power, not the I'm kind of just coming to the conclusion on this whole 1-drop 10k skillless thing. It's just not going to work out very well, but I guess it'll be decent in this draft format because it seems like a lot of what it's going to revolve around. This card is absolutely insane. Mira, Assault from the Skies. This is a 7-drop 30k, so keep in mind this is usable in the Toa deck where you can Union Absorb into this because it's a 7-drop Mira, and it also has double strike, Overwhelm 7 for 1 energy. So unlike Mira Creator Absorb, you do need 7 in the drop to overwhelm this out, which that's a 4 overwhelm. So this is almost the same requirements, but a little bit steeper on the drop area. Also requires a 1 energy payment. When you play this card, draw 1. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose one of your energy and switch to active mode. I really like how they have a lot of these effects that give you back energy in your opponent's main phase. It gets around like Borgos and Whis and things like that. But this is also basically it's like a straight up Scientist Fu replacement. Now, there are pro and cons to both. We'll go over the differences real quick. Scientist Fu, 10k combo. This is a 5k combo, so there are times where that 10k combo can be relevant. Like if Scientist Fu is the only 10k combo in your deck, maybe that is relevant. It gives you a little bit of extra combo power, but this is a card that you can fit in a deck full of 10k combos, still get that Scientist Fu-ish effect. So this only draws 1 card as opposed to Scientist Fu's draw 2 cards. This also does have 5k more power than Scientist Fu though. So lots of pros and cons to each of them. I mean, I think this card is going to be better in most cases, but I can see the argument being made for both. But this is just a great generic Overwhelm bomb card. We haven't really had an upgrade since set 3 where Scientist Fu came out. So this is a really, really welcomed card in my opinion. Fu, mission accomplished. So whenever you look at a Fu or a Mira, you have to also remember that it is searchable by Toa. So this will be searchable by Toa. Let's read what it does. 2-drop 10k power, activate main, pay 2 colorless, remove this card from your drop area. removed from the game. It doesn't even seem to put it in your warp. Choose up to 1 black battle card in your drop area or warp with an energy cost of 7 or less and add it to your hand. And that's pretty cool. I guess they didn't want you like looping this kind of thing where you can just like put this to your warp, put it back into your drop area with like the leader, and then like keep doing it over and over again. So a little bit of recyclability there. That's pretty neat, but I don't necessarily think this is going to warrant any main deck spots in constructed decks. It will be pretty solid in the draft decks, in my opinion. Remote Serious Bomb. Activate main one energy of any color because it's a black card. Your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. So this is another card that really stomps on the face of like Green Broly BR. I mean, that deck already lost so much power with Bloodlust going away. They just don't have ways to protect their Broly, and now there's a 1-drop extra card that any deck can play that pretty much deals with their board unless you have like some 1-drop out, but that doesn't really happen all the time. So this is kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's a cool card, but that Green Broly BR deck, man, like they are just absolutely killing it. Burning Slash. This card's really cool. 1-drop, counter attack, permanent. This card's skill cannot be negated in any area. So Battering Laser obviously is banned, but there is a cooler 3-drop that basically is a Battering Laser for 3 energy. Also draws you 2 cards. You cannot use that to negate this negate. So kind of a neat thing where this is like a generic side deck option if like Battering ever came back, or if a battle card says that like you can negate a counter attack once per turn, like things like that. This is just like a guaranteed negate, except in the face of something like Victory Strike. I don't believe this will stop Victory Strike, but a cool card nonetheless. Very cool. Now we come into the dual colors, and again, I think they're being very careful with these, which I do like. I mean, they're keeping the same thing of energy exhaust on all of them. They're keeping the 10k combo power, and that really is like a solid deck building predicament. Like, if you want to play dual colors, how many are you going to play? Because you're going to require a lot of 10k combo space, and if you're something like red green, like you don't really have too much energy fluidness, so it is a real deck building predicament. But I like how it's not just free. You know, I really do like that. So this is a 4-drop 20k, 1 10k combo, arrival red green by paying red, and then energy exhaust. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less and KO it. Then choose one of your other battle cards with energy cost of 6 or less, and it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So this is kind of neat. It's not just like a further construction Champa, because it does require you to pretty much play red and green. It's not that splashable, but when you do play it, you get to, so basically it's going to cost you like 1 to 2 cards to get this on the board via arrival. So once you play it, you get to kill one of your opponent's battle cards, so that makes up for one of the cards that you lost. And then you get to give something else double strike. So I imagine just like swinging in with like a 30k beat stick, maybe like a 30k vanilla. You know, you're trying to go for game. You maybe don't have further instruction Champa. Maybe you're playing a red green skillless deck. You arrival this into play. You give the beat stick the double strike. You kill a battle card, and then you just go for game. So I can imagine things like that, because that combo power from arrival will still benefit you for going for game. Just predicaments like that. I mean, I don't know where else this could be relevant. This could be relevant early game on like crit attackers, but a really neat card nonetheless. Not too busted. Son Goku and Vegeta Saiyan Bonds. I think they saved this card from being busted by making it Goku and Vegeta BR, but it might not have even been too bad if it wasn't a BR. But still, note that this is a Son Goku and Vegeta BR. So this is a 4-drop 20k arrival blue yellow with energy exhaust. When you play this card, draw 1, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and engage skills for the duration of the turn. This is super cool. This is going to be similar to that Frieza card we're getting in the yellow section of this, but it's a little bit more generic, I guess you can say, because it does work for blue yellow decks. Kind of neat too that you don't really need to play dual colors to have this. So if you're playing some like blue yellow deck period, like I used to play blue yellow skillless, this is a splashable card. You just combo a blue and a yellow. And then you play this, and then you negate the skills of anything you're targeting with this, right? And it does draw you a card back, which I really like, so that's really neat. This card is very cool, but again, not too busted. King Vegeta and Vegeta, that's a tongue twister a little bit. Royal Bloodline. So another 4-drop 20k, seems to be a common theme. We have Arrival Red Yellow for a yellow energy. So this is the first red yellow card I think we're seeing in the entire game, so that's pretty neat. Auto, when you play this card, draw 1. I like how they're drawing 1 because it kind of makes up for the neg of Arrival, because you do have the combo cards in order to play them. So when you play this card, draw 1, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO it. So a slight Shugesh Kid Goku style combo, which I really thought that Shugesh was the reason that like they wanted to get rid of that, was for that whole combo. But this isn't as free. I mean, you do have to typically combo 2 cards to then even play this guy. This does cost an energy, so you can kind of predict it there. Shugesh was completely free, so all you had to do was combo Shugesh and play the Goku. This requires you to get rid of like 1 to 2 cards and then play this. So there is a bit more drawback to this, so I'm not necessarily complaining about it. It is kind of neat to get a red-yellow card now that we can kind of start messing around. That's probably one of the weakest combinations in the entire game, red and yellow. I don't think I've ever seen like a super successful red-yellow deck, but again, neat card. Only hits 3s or less, unlike Kid Goku, so pretty good again. Son Goku and Son Gohan, Saiyans of Earth. Now, one thing I want to preface this with is this is an evolve target for Ultra Instinct Goku, something that someone pointed out earlier on Facebook today. I just thought it was pretty good to note. So this is a 5-drop blue-green, great color combination in the past. Hasn't been too great in the past few formats, but we'll read it. Arrival blue-green for a blue and a green energy. Energy exhaust. When you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. When it costs 5 or less, place it in the owner's energy in rest mode. Then your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places it in the drop area. So really interesting how they're going along this theme of giving your opponent more energy. I don't really think that's like the greatest thing ever. I mean, it is a very permanent form of removal, but it's really weird, right? Like, think about using this card against like something like Shenron Ramp. So you can like target one of their guys, like maybe like Kaioken, let's just say, and you know, this is during combos, so that's pretty neat. Like, it's removal straight up during combos, but you're giving them more energy to play with on their next turn. It can get a little weird from there. I don't know. Giving the opponent more energy always feels weird, but it is very permanent removal, so lots of pros and cons to weigh there. This card is very, very cool. 3-drop. We have Hercule and Majin Buu, Friends Forever, 19k attacker, Arrival red blue for a blue energy. Energy exhaust, auto. When you play this card, draw 1. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 10,000 power for duration of the turn. Then at the end of the turn, choose one of your red or blue battle cards other than this card, or another copy of this card, and return it to the owner's hand. So they keep playing around with like these flute-ish effects. Again, this is not nearly as busted as flute because it costs you several cards and an energy to commit to this. So just keep that in mind. But what I want to say about this card is it enables weird things, but at the same time, not really. So one thing that people are excited about with this card is turn 2 like Buhan plays or turn 2 AOD plays. There's a few issues with that. This requires Arrival red blue for a blue energy. And if you want to evolve into the 5-drop Buu on turn 2, that requires double red energy, right? So that means that your turn 1 charge has to be a red blue energy. That means you can then use it turn 2 as a red, but as far as we see now, like, everything in the game has energy exhaust if it's dual colors, so that's not really going to work out too well. I don't really think there's a good way to cheat this in turn 1, but I could be wrong. You know, tell me in the comments below if I'm wrong on that. That's just the way I see it right now. Next up, we have green yellow, another pretty good color combination. Imagine this card during like Ginyu Veggie format. That would have been pretty cool. So Krillin and Android 18 power couple, 4-drop 20k, Arrival green yellow for a green energy exhaust. When you play this card, choose one effect. Your opponent chooses one card in their hand, places it in the drop area, or choose a keyword skill on one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and negate it for the duration of the turn. More of these God Trick effects I am very happy about. It just gives the players more options. It gives the players more defense. That's kind of a thing with this game. You know, not everyone, but sometimes people say like, oh, this game has haste, so things are a little bit degen. Like, you have like super aggressive strategies, like you could drop a triple striker and swing with it in the same turn. But just more defensive cards like this, I really, really like. The make your opponent pitch one is a pretty lackluster effect in my opinion, especially because you're pitching basically 2 to 3 cards from your own hand to play this. But with that being said, the God Trick effect is really, really good in my opinion. So that looks like all the cards. Again, none of them are game breaking, none of them are game shattering, but I do appreciate the tender loving care that Bandai is taking with the game and taking with dual colors. I was a little bit hectic at first when they introduced it because I thought it was very, very soon to get dual colors in the game, but I think it's very cool and I'm really happy with how we're doing it. So guys, what do you think about the dual colors in the comments below? Let me know. Thanks for watching. My name is Joey. This is Crossbow TCG, and I'll see you guys in the next video.